Hey there, Inside EVs. I'm Patrick George, and we're here in China, and we're about to go for a spin in this, the Nio ET9. And it's a Chinese luxury car so advanced, it might be giving Audi and BMW and Mercedes-Benz some trouble very soon. Well, don't believe me? Let's check it out. This thing is really handsome, and I think kind of subtle even compared to a lot of the Chinese EVs that we've seen here. It flies a bit under the radar. I love this sort of tapered rear end. To me, it evokes the Taycan and maybe the Panamera a little bit. You know, super handsome machine. Yeah, we've seen a lot of these new EVs in this country have similar profiles, and like, I think that's just how you make a really efficient electric vehicle, right? You're gonna over-index on aerodynamics, and you're gonna want LED lighting for efficiency. Like, some people at the auto show we talked to were like, oh, all these cars look the same, and I really don't think that's true. First of all the cars in our market look the same too. I mean, you could rip the badge off any number of gas crossovers and you couldn't tell them apart. But again, this is just how you make a great electric vehicle. You're gonna have, for these sedans especially, kind of a similar profile. You're gonna want, you know, minimal lighting, good aerodynamics. But this thing looks really premium and really striking, but in a subtle way. This is what we're talking about inside when we say that this is aiming to be like a BMW i7 or S-Class or Audi A8 competitor or something. Really soft touch materials, really premium. Love this sort of squirkly steering wheel deal right here that maximizes interior space. I think that is the nicest wireless charging pad I've ever seen. It's this kind of nice felt material. Got this great driver display. Oh, it's in stationary mode. It goes into this like sort of landscape vibe here. And then their software seems really good, but all of the cars we've seen here have really excellent software. Yeah, so when we talk about software in cars, I think a lot of people don't know what that means for that to be actually good. And I think in this car's case, you know, it feels really integrated with the car itself. It's not just a car that has maps and an audio system. It feels like a cohesive part of the vehicle built from the ground up. The graphics are excellent. It's super fast and super responsive. I want to show you the maps later too, because, okay, check this out. Just look how smooth that is. I can't think of anything in the United States market that, you know, spins and flows as well as this. You know, like, try this on my Kia, you'd probably cause the computer to crash or something. And then of course we have NOMI, our assistant. Hey, NOMI.
Hey, 我在呢。
NOMI,
什么？我可以帮助你的吗
NOMI, do you speak English?
Absolutely, I'm fluent in English. How can I assist you today?
Are you having a good day, NOMI?
Yeah, I'm always in a great mood to chat with you and help you out.
AI is very heavily integrated into the cars of China, this new generation. A lot of it's DeepSeek, that sort of groundbreaking new Chinese AI platform. But it's conversational. It's natural language. It's not just like you tell the car to do one thing and maybe does it or doesn't. It feels like you're talking to somebody. That's a really novel approach to this whole thing that I don't think American buyers have really experienced yet. So here's the other thing about NOMI. She talks to you on the outside of the car. Mm-hmm. What can I tell NOMI to do on the outside?
Yeah. Hi, NOMI. 打开前备箱.
Oh my God. You can't see it, but I just fell over and my soul left my body. Can she close the two?
We can press the deal.
There we go. What else can NOMI do outside?
Or for example, open the door.
Yeah.
Hi, NOMI. 打开全车车门.
That's amazing.
Hi, NOMI. 关闭全车车门.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Okay. Now we have a quick demo of how the automatic door works. So our friend here has the key.
Yeah. But what? What? Yeah.
He walks up to it.
Open.
Doesn't just unlock it.
Yeah.
It opens the door for you when you walk up with a key in it.
And
oh my God, and it closes too. I've been opening and closing my own doors all this time like a loser. All right, it's a rainy and overcast Sunday morning in Shanghai, China, and I'm here with Kevin Williams. Kevin, why don't you tell us what we're driving today, my man?
Yeah, we're in the Nio ET9, which is the Nio's flagship model. It's got a whole lot of new stuff. For example, it's got steer-by-wire and a really crazy trick suspension that makes it ride really, really smooth.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier this is kind of a competitor to like the BMW i7, or like the gas S-Class. I can't say the Mercedes EQS because, but it's like a flagship car for Nio, right?
Correct. It's not small, it's not cheap. I think even in China, it's almost $100,000.
Yeah, it really looks the part.
I mean, not just looking the part, this is probably the smoothest riding car I've driven in a very long time. And I'm not just saying that. Like, it really feels like we're floating, but not in a way that's like, seasick. It's kind of magical, honestly.
Now that you mention it, most Chinese cars, I think it's fair to say, really kind of over-index on comfort because they're in traffic all the time and they want a smooth ride and want to be able to deal with potholes and such. But this is on a different level. This is like kind of Rolls-Royce-ish grade quality.
Yeah, coupled with this really narrow, small, like almost yoke-like steering wheel. Kind of great, man. I'm really digging this thing.
Most of the ones we've seen so far have really nice interiors and these like soft touch materials throughout the dash, but this is next level. You've got this thin display bar here that goes across the length of the dash. You've got a really nice tablet screen here that's kind of floating out of the car in a really tasteful way. It goes over here so I as the passenger can see some of the displays that interact with the car. It feels like one of those like really kind of halo model cars we can get from one of the Germans.
It does. I see why it's kind of freaking out a lot of Europeans. This is definitely, it's freak out worthy.
Yeah, they don't want to compete with this kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Or at least now it tells them, like, maybe the Chinese know what they're doing.
I got in and turn that down ever so slightly.
Should we turn that down?
You want to be cleared?
我
在路面
我来了。
导航静音。
好的，导航播报关了。
Okay, it's okay.
It's a considerably more advanced AI system than the stuff we get in America. You driven anything that is that good?
Not like this. Hell no.
That's also one of those ones where you can get the cowboy hat on it, right?
Yeah, apparently they're actually not really sanctioned. It's kind of like an Etsy type deal where people just kind of do what they want. They make little trinkets at home or sell them.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't think a cowboy hat suits the vibe of this car.
I'd still put it in there. I don't care.
I do it anyway. That's a really high grade camera up top for the rear view mirror. That's a better display than I've seen on a lot of like luxury cars for sale in America. So just some riding shotgun. This is a really nice experience, the ET9. Yeah, real quick, I want to point out this screen that's here because this is really lovely. And one thing that we've learned is that buyers in China like having the screen in front of the passenger so that they have things to interact with, content to interact with, functions that they can do when they're driving. But I think it's fair to say that like a lot of people in the West are like, what's the point of this? Why do I need a screen in front of the passenger? Like I can just be on Instagram or something. But I like this because it's really discreet and it's not intrusive. It's not like overwhelming, and I can flip through some different functions with this panel that's right there. There's our coffee, but see this? I can flip and slide and it goes through different things. Like I have some audio controls there. That's really lovely too. I mean, it's just very tastefully done, I think. Interestingly, Nio has been around a long time. I remember in the 2010s them setting up an office in the United States, and they were kind of potentially exploring the beginnings of a US entry, but it never really went anywhere. And that I think it's fair to say the tensions between the United States and China were very different back then. The trade situation was very different back then. The tariff situation was different back then. So, about 10 years ago, it seemed plausible that one of these Chinese newcomer brands might jump into this market. Right. And that was Nio was one of the first. But it's also fair to say that their market wasn't as advanced at the time. Their cars weren't as advanced at the time. And that's really changed right now. And what comes to mind for me with Nio is the battery swapping technology. You drive into a port, pops out your battery and slides in a freshly juiced one, right?
I think, just as a whole, there's kind of a different USP for a lot of these brands. Like, they all have their like little selling point that makes them attractive here in China. Because every car here goes pretty far. They charge pretty quickly. Even Nio's not the only cars that can battery swap here in China. This brand really kind of skews towards being more of a consumer product than a car, if that makes sense. You know, I think it's really novel how they do their vehicle stores almost double as, like, you know, sort of an Apple store or an airport lounge, but for cars.
Yeah.
It's a really novel concept. I'm not sure how well it would catch on outside of China, but it's definitely a thing to do, definitely a different thing.
Just in my limited experience being here, it's like the brands that have done that you talked about, that was like Huawei and Xiaomi, which are both tech companies now making cars, and then Tesla also. You know, I think that's the tech company that happens to make cars, a fair way to put them, you know, selling stuff directly to consumers here, selling stuff in malls, and then there's NIO also. So they're kind of one of the, like, sort of cutting edge electric startup brands, you would say, right? And it's a luxury company too. Like they have a new brand that's kind of more entry level called Onvo, but this is a more premium product across the board, right? Than NIO.
Right. Yeah. This really does feel competitive, I think, with German big cars.
Yeah, and they don't have a thing that dances and bounces around like she does. Look at her go.
Right.
You go, NOMI. Look at her. 75 miles an hour on the highway. It's like nothing. Like a proper German car would do, if not better, or a Rolls or something. How's the power?
I mean, it's pretty quick.
She's dancing.
100 kilowatt-hour battery.
It's a big battery.
It is, and it's in probably, once again, battery leasing or battery as a service. So probably either 75 to 100 with a 150 option that's lease only.
Yeah. You were saying you like the Lucid Air a little bit better than this thing.
Yeah, no, the Air is definitely a more engaging car. But that's not to, like, take away from the ET9. I mean, I think this is a very solid competitor. Very solidly built, very dynamically, really smart.
Yeah.
But it's definitely geared towards comfort and being driven rather than, I think the Lucid Air is just significantly more fun to drive.
Now, Lucid Air is a solid driver's car, you're right. I mean, it's big, it's heavy, but like in the right circumstance, it's actually quite fun.
Yeah, I think the Lucid Air is kind of dynamically perfect. You know, it really shrinks around you. Whereas this kind of really feels its size.
Yeah, this is a big...
But I know people will take that the wrong way. I think that's just kind of it's just a different thing. Like, if you're looking for a big sedan that feels big and comfortable and effortless, this is what you want.
Yeah. Like, one's more like, almost like, almost Bentley-ish a little bit. Like, it's the luxury line or the cruiser versus the one that's, like, comfortable, but it can also, like, carve up a back room.
I think you're right. I would take this over a BMW i7. I would take this over pretty much most big sedans, honestly. Not a huge fan of the Mercedes EQ cars either.
Nobody is, unfortunately.
This is really solid.
I think what's interesting about a lot of these Chinese cars that we've driven is that they don't feel, for lack of a better term, like startup-y. Like, I really love Rivians, but it's also like, with a lot of Rivians, it's like there's still that, like, okay, you're getting there, you know? Or like a Lucid also, like, it's really good, but you're getting there as a car company. This feels like they've been making this thing forever.
We also have to remember that, you know, a lot of these Chinese EV startups aren't really startups anymore. I think NIO's been making cars since, I think, 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
This is technically like in their second or third generation of vehicles here.
Yeah, okay.
So they've had a whole full line of models to, like, learn from.
Yeah.
So this isn't their first go around. I mean, they've sold thousands and thousands of vehicles now. They have a little bit of idea of what's going on here.
Yeah, you know, some of like the EV startups in America, there's weird little fit and finish polish issues, and they're getting better and better over time. But it's like this has all of it has the tech and performance, except better, of the startups we have, but all of the polish of a Hyundai, Kia, BMW, Toyota, whatever, you know, established car company you want.
Yeah, I would agree. It reminds me a lot of, like, Genesis, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's like something new, but like clearly the company behind it knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like if Genesis made phones. That's what this feels like.
That's a great way to put it. So overall, the NIO ET9 is a massively impressive piece of kit, and I think that it shows us what we didn't know we were missing. You know, it's got a really sophisticated AI assistant that far surpasses anything I've tested in modern cars on sale right now. It's got automatic door opening and closing. It's really smooth. The software is really integrated into the car. It's extraordinarily powerful and extraordinarily comfortable too. You know, Nio's a new brand and it's a challenger brand, and you know, it's going up against some of the established best, like the top shelf stuff from the German automakers. And can it compete with them? I don't know if it can convince buyers to go that way or not, but just in a straight up competition, this thing is going to give them a lot of trouble.